So after selecting settings, we come to setting your availability. You need to put in your start time, your end time, and your slot length. Important to remember, you can always block off times later, so if you're never ever going to teach, for example, here on a Sunday before 9 o'clock, that's fine. But if on the odd time you do want to put some sort of appointments, golf or otherwise, into your diary, then make sure you set an earlier time. You can always block the diary out later on. Once we've set these settings up, we can select save, and you'll get a message saying profile updated and successful. Your diary is certainly a third of the way to being completed. So, first job, set your availability, set your slot length, think of it like a normal paper diary. Now moving along to the lesson types, here you need to scroll to the bottom of the screen and we select Add New. This will allow you to type in a description. So in this case, a bunker lesson, typing in a cost, and the appropriate currency sign will change depending on where you are in the world. So in this case we're going to call that a £25 lesson, and then the lesson length time, and then do we require any resources. We'll come back to resources, but in this case we don't need the studio here to collect a resource. The resources are used for not double booking a piece of equipment like a studio, like a bunker for an example. And we select OK, and you'll notice that this now has been added to your lesson types. If you want to edit any of these, you simply highlight them and select edit or delete. So moving across to the next tab, which are emails, you'll see here a list of emails that you can go through and edit. These are automatically generated by the system to remind pupils when they've made a booking reminder, welcome message for example, a return reminder. So important we go through all of these. If we have a look at the booking made, it will show the editor. You can edit as you wish. Important perhaps to leave the highlighted areas in place, because this will automatically put in the username's name and the time of the lesson, the name of the club that you're at. So even though this may be in English and your emails may be in another language, then important that this particular element is left in place as is. And then of course make sure there's a tick box at the bottom so you're enabling to send this message. Type in your message subject and then save and close. Moving on to SMS and text messaging, these are by default switched off, and there are a couple of options: a booking made and a booking reminder. And again, you can edit these particular sections here, as you can see, and then that would automatically be sent to your customers if you select the enable sending this message option. Okay, this is a chargeable service. Please contact us for more details and pricing and bundles available. So moving to our last tab, resources. This is a piece of equipment. We always class our studio as a piece of equipment because we don't want to double book our single studio that we have at our facility. We can add other pieces of equipment in here, of course. So for instance, we might type in the K-Vest as a piece of equipment, and we have one of those. Now what we don't want to happen, of course, is when we create a lesson type, we want to make sure that we assign a piece of equipment so we don't end up double booking. So important here to put in your pieces of equipment and then select them in the type of lesson you're going to save double booking when you add a lesson type. So now we've completed all of the sections in the settings: the availability, the lesson types, the emails, SMS text messaging, and the resources. So now it's time to have a look at the diary. So let's show you how the diary works. We select the appointments button, and here's our diary. Now you'll notice this area here is greyed out, and for the simple reason that when I made my selection, I didn't want to start coaching on this particular day before 3 o'clock. Now this is the 1st of May, which is when I'm doing this demonstration. I'm unable to book any lessons on this day because this time has already passed. It's in the evening time here. I've gone past 1500 hours and therefore cannot book a lesson. So we can't book at a prior time. So let's move across tomorrow. We can use these right arrows here and we can see that we reach the diary system. So if I'd like to book a lesson at 9 o'clock tomorrow, I left click on the space, and this is something that reception will be able to do as well. I've got an option to book lesson. For somebody who's already on my system, I've got new student lesson, so a question that you perhaps ask your customer is, are you a new student? You have create a group lesson, and we have block out time. So we're going to deal with book a lesson first of all from somebody who's existing on your database. So you select book lesson. This will put an area, a shaded area here back at 9 o'clock. We can select the student from the drop down here, and then we can select a lesson type. So I might select that bunker lesson that I put in earlier, and then I hit save. We can now see the booking. An email has gone out to this customer to tell them they have a booking. If you have the text message available selected, then also they'll receive a text message. So how about cancelling a lesson from the administrator? If we click on the appointment you wish to cancel, so in this instance my 9 o'clock appointment, I can left click on that appointment and I simply hit cancel lesson. It's going to ask if I'm sure. I select OK, and that appointment has now vanished, never to be retrieved again. On the group booking theme, we can cancel the whole lesson, we can add a student to the group, and we can remove a student from the group. So quite simple to add and control who's going in what group, and again all the automated emails will take place. Right, navigating through your diary. We have an option here up in the top left called Select Coach, so I should be able to select the coach to look at their diary. So I might want to turn to Mark's diary, Mervin's diary, and for some reason I'm in here twice, but we'll go back to my top diary, which we were using previously. You've got the forward and back arrows here to change the date, and the Today button. We've also got the date picker on the left hand side, which is the easiest way to use the system. So using the date picker to do the job of booking somebody in. And then across the top we have a daily view and a weekly view. Now these two, you are able to book students in this view. The monthly view is an overview. You can cancel lessons, but at this particular stage you cannot book any lessons in this section. And the all, again, this will show you an overview. We can select here and cancel or add students to groups, but we can't book a lesson from this particular section, but it does give you an overview of what all of the coaches are doing on that particular day. So for booking lessons, it's got to be in the daily or weekly view. You can cancel lessons from the all and the monthly, but you can't book. We need to select a coach, that's pretty important, and of course you've got the date picker on the left hand side here also. So we'd like to know how to use that other booking option, the group booking. So we'll select a slot here at 11 o'clock. We're going to select create a group lesson, type in a description. So in this case we're going to call it juniors. Then maximum per class, so 6, length of the lesson 30 minutes, cost £5, and then we're going to repeat for the next 4 weeks. We select save. Then you can see the booking is made. And here we have that booking slot here, not just for this week, but for the next 4 weeks.